Welcome back to the NRL Punters Weekly Digest, your one-stop shop for everything you need to know leading into this week's NRL matches. It's time to talk about the Brisbane Broncos. That's right, the Brisbane Broncos, who I throw a bit of shade at in my videos. It's all out of love. It's all out of love. Because despite the fact that I'm not a Broncos supporter, as you know, I am a fan of rugby league, and I know how important it is for Brisbane to have a strong team. And at the moment, they're not that strong team. So in this video, I want to address some changes that the Broncos can make in their personnel. Some players, more specifically, that they could target for next season that could help bolster them into that final contention bracket, which they should be in every season, let's be honest. Okay, they are one of the powerhouse clubs of this competition. They're not acting like it, but they need to get back there. Before I get into this topic though, just a couple of things. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, I would really appreciate the sub. And if you turn on your notifications, you'll stay in the loop of all my latest content. I'm doing about 3 or 4 episodes, if you want to call them, videos a week. So I feel like I'm bringing a degree of content out to you. And look, the more subscriptions I get, the more I'm kind of motivated to make more content. And I've already got some far planning ideas for the off season when we don't have rugby league games. If I get to like a few hundred subscribers by then, I'm going to be so much more motivated to give you guys some really awesome, almost like documentary style content. So support me so I can support you. And if you like this video, give me a like. And as per usual, let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. All right, let's get into it. So areas that I think are areas of concern for the Broncos at the moment in terms of playing positions. Now, I want to say straight off the bat that I think that the Broncos have a really exciting young crop of players. I think they're one of the, like by mean age, they're one of the younger sides in the competition. So when we give them flack, in some respects, it's a little bit unfounded and unfair because they don't have great experienced players in the key positions that can kind of direct the team around the park and really influence the younger players. For the most part, it's a very, very young side, but there's some really exciting players in there. You know, like players like Herbie Farnworth, who I'm not sure if he gets enough accolades for how good he is. He's been a shining light in their back line. Obviously Tavita Pangai Jr., Payne Haas, Jake Turpin probably a bit to a lesser degree, although he's captain now. Pat Carrigan. Some of these guys here, Jermaine Asako, again, probably to a lesser extent. I would probably call Jermaine Asako more of an honest footballer, regular first grader. But there are definitely some key areas that they can recruit for that are really going to help elevate them to a finals contending side next year, I think. I honestly believe that. Obviously, they recruited Adam Reynolds on the 3-year deal, which I think is an absolutely outstanding call to make by the club. And it was the right call to make because they've been missing an organisational halfback. They've been missing a quality organisational halfback. Some would argue since Alfie Langer, although they have won a premiership in that time in 2006. But even, was it Shane Perry was the halfback then? Look, he was like a Queensland Cup guy. So they haven't had like an out-and-out star in that position. That was a great acquisition. Other areas of concern for me at the moment where they are really lacking, I wasn't going to say the hooking position until I had a conversation with a mate at work who's a staunch Broncos fan who's not convinced of Jake Turpin. And it got me thinking. And it got me thinking around the Josh Hodgson going to Brisbane rumour, because I know he's a hooker and he wants to play hooker, in a starting side. And I get that. And Hodjo, at his peak, was one of the best hookers in the world. And I still think he's up there. He just doesn't really suit Canberra's style of play anymore. We've gone for the Damien Cook prototype in Josh Starling. I would like to see him stay as a lock, but that's just my personal opinion. I think he probably doesn't want that. And then I came home and I heard the rumours, those rumours buzzing around. I think it was someone had posted on social media that had come up in NRL 360. I'm yet to watch tonight's episode. That the Josh Hodgson rumor is not going away at hooker. Now, if they could jag a guy like Josh Hodgson, that would be so beneficial to the team and to the up and coming hookers. You know, the Kobe Hetheringtons and the Jake Turpins. He would be able to impart just so much wisdom to these guys, which can help prepare them for the next stages of their careers. Because he's got maybe 2 or 3 really good seasons left in him. If he can stay relatively injury-free, we know that Hodgson really struggles with that side of things. That would be a great acquisition. So I'm going to say the hooking department would be a good place for them to really, get some personnel for. Another guy, if they can't get Josh Hodgson, which is maybe thinking a little bit left of centre here, and I had to check the off-contract players for the end of the season. Mitch Kenny from the Penrith Panthers. Now, I know he's very young and he's not very experienced, but when he's come in to play for the Panthers, and I know he's playing in a system where the players are very defined in their roles and they do their jobs very, very well, and obviously they've got some really quality young talent there, but Mitch Kenny looks like a really good up-and-coming young hooker. Is he an upgrade to a Jake Turpin? I think possibly, but that's not for me to make that call. So, hooking position, first area of concern. Second area is the fullback role. Jermaine Asako has had I'm going to say a par performance in that role. It's not so much that he's done much wrong. It's just that he doesn't add much in attack, I feel, in terms of from a play-making perspective. And we know that the modern-day fullback, it's super important to be a great defensive fullback. But if you're only a defensive fullback and you can only really create opportunities for yourself and not so much for your outside players, then I think you're really missing a trick there. I think that the Broncos, and I know it's been spoken about before, it's not an original idea, I think the Broncos need to go hard for Nicho Hynes. Nicho Hynes last week proved that he can't be a bench player. He's not going to be preferred to Ryan Papenhuyzen when he's fit, because Ryan Papenhuyzen, when he's fit, is a top 3 fullback in this competition. He's an out-of-this-world talent. He's the new Billy Slater for Melbourne, and there's no way he's going to be able to usurp him. However, he should be starting for a team each week. That's how good that guy is. And Brisbane should throw the bank at him. If they throw enough money at him, he is not going to be able to say no, is my personal belief. I don't know him on a personal level, but I know how the NRL works. You throw enough money at a player where you force their hand out. I can't say no. I would be stupid to say no. Put him in that position, Brisbane. Force him to say yes. I don't know what Brisbane are looking like cap-wise at the moment, so they'd have to make that work. But throw the bank at him. Do that. I mean, they're freeing up some Milford money, so throw the bank at him. Give him the option to start at fullback for a powerhouse club. So that's hooker and fullback. Oh, I was going to mention too, if they can't get Nicho Hynes, go for Matt Duffy. Matt Duffy, from what I'm reading, it seems like the writing's on the wall that the Dragons don't want Matt Duffy, and that they're kind of, well, Anthony Griffin has come out and said that now that Matt Duffy's injured, he's going to give Cody Ramsey a go, whose preferred position is fullback. And it seems to me like if he's the goods, and Cody Ramsey's a very good young player, certainly great on the wing. I can't wait to see what he can do from fullback. But it seems to me that the writing's on the wall that Duffy is not for them, which is very disappointing because I rate Matt Duffy highly. I think he's got a lot more ceiling in his game. Obviously, he's super quick and elusive, but there's so many more strings he can add to his bow under the right tutelage and in an environment where he's wanted. But he's certainly a massive upgrade to Jermaine Asako for the Broncos. Another area I think that the Brisbane should be looking to recruit in is the winger spot. Xavier Coates is a big loss for the Brisbane Broncos. And you could say, well, he's just a winger, but yeah, he's just a winger. But in 2 or 3 years' time, that guy could be the best winger in the NRL. And I'm backing him to be that because he's going to the Melbourne Storm, who are just going to go. They wanted a like-for-like replacement to Josh Addo-Carr. Those were the words, I believe, a like-for-like replacement. That's how highly they rate him. I I know that Josh Adokar at the moment is a better full winger than him, but he's got runs on the board. He's been around for a few years now. He knows how the game's played. In a few years' time, Xavier Coates is going to be the best winger in the NRL. Melbourne Storm are going to make sure of that. They need a like-for-like replacement. They may not get it based on what's available in the open market, and I'm going to throw some names out to you here. These are the ones that I would go for first if I was Brisbane. Dane Gagai, already been spoken about. He's played at the Broncos before. He would be coming home, so that might make sense if he wants to come over. Daniel Tupou, also off contract, would be a great acquisition. Wealth of experience there. One of the best wingers under the high ball. He's super tall. He's a bloody giraffe. Great winger, great finisher. Blake Ferguson. Fergo's one of the best finishers in the game. So much experience there. You know he's past the drinking cruises on the roof stage of his life. He's a bit more mature now. He's probably good for team morale. Ruben Garrick, you got a goal kicker there. Ruben Garrick is probably one of the more underrated wingers in this competition, but very, very good, solid winger. Then you've got the likes of some young prospects like Nick Meaney, Mawene Hiroti, who I really like from the Sharks. He's very impressive. Anthony Don. Don is good, and he's been good at the Titans for so many years. A wealth of experience there from him also. Branko Lee, Heimel Hunt, Edric Lee, Adam Pompey is a centre, but I think you play him in the wing. I rate him highly. Murray Talangi from the Cowboys, another interesting, exciting young winger. So there are a lot of options out there. But Brisbane can't let that opportunity go. They've got some really good quality centres there that I don't think they should do anything with. I know Staggs is likely going to be playing 5/8 to Reynolds next year, which I think would be a great move. Just let him run and let Reynolds pass and kick. Beautiful. That's what you want. That's what you want in your halves. But you've got Herbie Farnworth, who's an exceptional talent. You've got other guys there that can do the job. Go for a good winger there. And then lastly, I think Brisbane, despite the fact they've got some really good young talent that still are quite away from hitting their straps in the forwards. Obviously, they've got Payne Haas, Tavita Pango Jr., Pat Carrigan, Jordan Rickey, these guys. I think what they are missing is one or two very experienced campaigners who've been in winning environments before, some old heads. And the number one guy that I would be targeting, and I swear to you, this is pure coincidence. I was thinking in this in my head when I was writing my notes. First guy I thought about was Dale Finucane. Then I read an article on the Fox Sports website NRL website, saying that Dale Finucane has still not been offered a deal past this season by the Melbourne Storm. He doesn't know where they're at with their salary cap and so forth. He's only 29 years of age. He's one of the best middle forwards in our game. I would be going all in on Dale Finucane. Imagine if they could jag a hooker with the quality of a Hodgson, and then they get a Nico Hines at fullback. These are all ifs and buts and wish lists. I'm just throwing some ideas out there. They've got Adam Reynolds at halfback, and then they've got Dale Finucane in the middle. I know they've got Pat Carrigan at lock already, who's just... I look at Pat Carrigan, I'm like, you're a big child. Not in the way he conducts himself, but he looks like a kid, but he's got such a big body. Look, he's a good player, and he's going to be a really good prospect in the next few years. I mean, I think he's going to be rep level quality, don't get me wrong. But hey, maybe you get Dale Finucane and he plays in the front row, or Pat Carrigan plays in the front row. I don't think you could go wrong recruiting a guy like Dale Finucane. And to a lesser extent, you might want to look at guys like Dynamis Louis, Aiden Tolman, Aaron Woods. I'm just thinking out loud here, but I think Brisbane are going to be really active in the player market from now until the start of the next season. And I'm really interested. I'm really excited to see what they come up with, because if they make the right moves, get the right personnel in the key positions, then they're completely going to reverse their fortunes. And this time next year, this season will be a distant memory to them if they do the right things and make the right moves. Anyway, that's all I've got to say about this topic here. Let me know what you think in the comments section below. Broncos fans, I'm particularly interested to hear your thoughts and to know, what kind of moves you'd be making if you were the man in charge. What's the name of the Broncos CEO? Sorry. If you were the Broncos CEO, what moves would you be making to get your team back into finals contention? And that's it. That's it from me. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.